We put the two giants to the test. Standard electricity straight from the plug up against electrical power generated by a wind farm. Which one will power our e-bikes the best and for the longest? Now, I'm no e-bike expert, but one thing I think we have all missed is a very important point that was raised on GMBN recently. Which power source is going to propel my e-bike the furthest? These bikes are so expensive these days, and the last thing we want to do is put the wrong source in our bike and have it underperform, or maybe even worse. I wouldn't put the wrong fuel in my car, so are we about to do that with e-bikes? So I put the two most obvious big hitters in electrical power up against each other in what I really believe is a very comprehensive and well thought through test. The challenge was to give you the answers on which power source you should be using, and I think I can now tell you. Okay, so basically you have two options. Power straight from a standard plug, available to all, and of course, very cheap. But there are obviously questions on its cost to our environment. The burning of fossil fuels is harming our world, and it just isn't sustainable. I mean, how long can it last? Fossils like these are finite, and we can't keep presuming to discover them over and over again. Our other options are tidal power and wind farm. Both solutions are very expensive, but obviously limitless in supply, also much better for our environment. However, of these two, I'm sure you'll agree there's an obvious preference for our purpose today. I mean, we're not interested in mixing tidal-sourced electricity and batteries. We all know how water and the internals of a battery mix, not cool. In fact, quite hot. So, we are pitting wind farm, ethically sourced electrical energy against standard, everyday, straight from the plug electrical power that we're all more familiar with. And here is where we're testing it. The slab! On the incredible slab facility that many in GMBN regard as the steepest climb in the world of cycling. If we're using power and trying to find its ability to propel a bike forwards, then this place is perfect for the job. Steve is using a battery that we have filled with our standard battery juice, straight from the household plug.
What the hell's going on?
Just charging up.
Do you pay the electricity bills?
No, but I might have...
You dirty bikers coming in. Look at the state of that hallway. Get your bike out of it.
Chris, however, is using a battery we filled with ethically sourced wind farm power, straight from the carbon blades of a wind turbine and directly down into Chris's battery. It's bound to be powerful, but will it have the same longevity and delivery as the standard plug-sourced fuel? So up first is Chris. He's going to use the power of wind to set a marker on this incredible climb, one of the steepest in the world of cycling.
Ridiculously steep climb on an e-bike. There he goes. Go on, Chris!
Has his battery got the guts, or maybe the gusts, to take this ascent on? Remember that not only this is an incredibly steep climb, but it's also a climb where gravity will be pushing against you. There's no battery on Earth that can change that. Chris is making incredible progress though. His power hasn't remained consistent, but he seems to be able to twist and turn his way up the slab. Each time the wind power flutters, he seems to catch it and drop the delivery, make adjustments, and continue his effort. With every pedal stroke, he gets closer and closer to the top. Steve looks on, awaiting his attempt, in absolute awe of the wind power Chris is using. It seems to be moving him not only consistently, but ever higher up the climb. It looks like a complete success. Chris has made it almost all the way to the top, an incredible 73 metres up the world's steepest climb.
Got proper jelly legs, even just coming up that bit.
Now it is Steve's chance to represent our standard plug source battery power. This fossil power is of course a dying breed. Its source coming from the scarce supply of giants from another age. The fact that the power lives on is a miracle in its own right. So this resource doesn't have time on its side, but will it have the power today? Steve looks very nervous. The burden of representing the very electrical power we all use day in, day out is obviously weighing on his mind. However, Steve is a very talented climber, and the delivery on this standard power will be very similar to what he's used to. In fact, almost exactly the same. Steve starts well and powers towards Chris's 73-metre record. His power looks very consistent, and that is definitely helping him get grip. He pushes the pedals, and that plug power is delivering with every stroke. Yes, this is a very well thought out route from Steve, and the cohesion he has with the battery power is palpable, and Chris's record looks like it is in reach. Steve passes 73 metres, and Chris looks on in anguish as he sees the victory slip from his fingers. The supreme delivery of Steve's battery power is making the difference, and not even the world's steepest climb can stop this man from proving a point. Finally, his battery gives up and the contest is over. Steve is drained, his battery is drained, and the point seems to be clearly proven. A future without fossil power looks like a future with an inferior power source. As fossils run out, so will this energy, and we could even call it the spirit of giants from long ago. It is energy that has today conquered the world's steepest climb. But wait, Chris is rolling down the climb. He obviously thinks that the point is not proven. Could he have saved power on this climb? Have we not seen everything that ethically sourced wind power has? Steve is spent, his battery is done. There's no more power to give. Chris seems to be coming in for another run though, as if adding some extra distance could prove a point not yet made, the point of which power lasts longer. Chris drives the pedals through with each gust of wind battery power. He moves ever closer to the mark he made earlier. In fact, this time, the wind battery seems to be delivering an intelligent power source that is more consistent and controllable than before. He reaches that mark once more, but again drives on. Steve's original mark now in sight. You can see the anguish and despair on Steve's face as Chris not only reaches him, but powers past for a few more pedal strokes and hits an all-new record. 87 metres on the world's steepest climb. It's absolutely amazing. Steve is beaten. Fossil power has nothing to give, and even a laboured swing at Chris from Steve has no real power effect. In fact, a nice guard block from Chris there. So, there you have it. It's a clear result for ethically sourced wind power. The future looks good for this wind source, and with the limited supply of long-forgotten behemoths and their stored carbon, we have a clear path ahead. Wind turbines are going to be popping up everywhere. And for myself, I'm going to be measuring up my garden later today to see if my next purchase can be a slice of God's given energy, his wind. Thanks for watching, and look out for more investigations and explorations coming from GMBN in the future. To make sure you don't miss them, why don't you subscribe? Love, like and share on all the social platforms, and I'll see you next time.